good morning, everyone. And we had a wonderful panel one, and the panel ended on a note which is very personal to me about careers other than engineering. And so my own kids have taken a different path, and it's a constant struggle, career guidance and everything. So, which brings us to the second panel, which is about redesigning K-12 curriculum for 21st century learners. And while we'll wait for one panelist to come, let's start the session without waiting. So, redesigning K-12 curriculum, NEP has really provided a very extensive framework. Every aspect of what is needed in school education has been addressed by K-12, by NEP. But so what are the stumbling blocks in the implementation? Because now we are in the third year of implementation of NEP. And we were discussing before the event began today that many of the institutes have already been implementing aspects of NEP. They have, they are closely adhering to that philosophy even before NEP was formalized. But what are the stumbling blocks overall? Maybe we can start with you.
A very good morning to everyone. I think at Pathways World School, we are at a slightly in a better position because the NEP has taken a lot from the IB, the international curriculum. And because we are an IB continuum school, everything that has been laid out in the NEP, we have already been doing. So for us, as an international school, I don't see that, there are too many stumbling blocks. But where I look at the Indian curriculum schools, I think where the stumbling blocks could be is because the government has come up with this beautiful policy, but how are they ensuring that every school has understood the nitty-gritties of what is required, what is the professional development that is being given to the teachers to ensure that they understand the NEP and all the nuances of the NEP. I think that is where I think the biggest stumbling block could be.
If you can also answer, what are those 3 or 4 highlights of NEP that all the schools should be really implementing in earnest?
I think the first thing that they should be implementing is the way teaching happens. We have to move away from rote learning. We have to move towards experiential learning, project-based learning, so that it becomes more relevant in the child's life. If they know their learning and how they can implement what they are learning in the classroom to their real life, to their day-to-day life, it's going to help them connect with what they're doing in the class.
I really request everyone to keep quiet. There's a lot of disturbance. Excuse me. Please be quiet. Sorry, continue.
So I think the way the teaching and learning happens in Indian curriculum, and I think Mr. Abishek would be more, he will be a better person to answer exactly what is, because he is from an Indian curriculum school. But I think the teaching learning process is, I think, where school should be focusing a lot on.
Sure. Mr. Yadav, if you can highlight, what are those aspects within NEP that you are taking as priority areas for implementation in your school?
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to have a wonderful audience. Life is all about learning, trying to do better things. NEP is a bold document, a policy document which I think tries to do what is best required for Indian education system. And it has taken up a lot of elements from across the globe so that the best of what is available can be implemented. It's a futuristic document, and certain aspects which I really like in that document is, first and foremost, of course, the role of teacher is completely now looked in a different light. It's just not, giving knowledge, but being a, a facilitator in the classroom, being there to support children so that the learning goes in the hands of students and not only through the teacher only. That is one big aspect. Another thing is experiential learning, which ma'am already said, because the way the world is moving forward, as such, you see the competition of any teacher, I always say, is it's not the tuition teacher. It's the competition in a classroom is against the YouTube, that video which is available, against those content creators who are creating different kinds of knowledges. So unless experiential learning is there, that interest will not be there among children. And we all know that if interest is not there, anyway learning is not going to happen. We always call it as teaching learning process. And there is a reason for that. It's because teaching always happens in schools or higher education also. There is no second thought about it. But the challenge is whether learning happens or not. And that is where entire game is. To ensure that children are, you have the way you teach, the pedagogy, all those things in a strong way determine whether actually it is happening or not. So that is one of the another important thing. And how it can improve depends on the assessment. Because every school is going to flaunt the results that is there, or whatever parameter is there to showcase to the parents that that is the best institution, whether it is school, college or university. So in that case, if the assessment quality improves, then preparation quality also improves. So now that CBSE is going way forward and trying to see that, skill-based learning is there, and competency-based learning also is coming into picture. So that is helping, teachers also to prepare better so that children can actually understand the concepts, apply concepts. Because you see, if I compare between, let's say, a board exam that is being given and a competitive exam like IIT JEE. Now, if you look at the stark difference is where in board exam, 99% of the people pass, whereas in competitive exam, 99% of the people fail. So that's the difference, because here it is, of course, it is competition, so there is no minimum cutoff something, but also one more thing, it is completely application-based questions which are there. You have to be able to apply knowledge, and not only apply on a particular topic, cross-linking of different topics are there, different subjects are also there at many times. And real life is like that only. And in schools, what we have, specific subjects are taught in compartments where children are not able to think in, comparing, let's say, if a maths class is there, it can also have elements of chemistry, it can have elements of music, it can have elements of other subjects also as well. So this is a big difference which NEP has, asked us to, look into it. And I think that way, these are key things which we are trying to do. But there are a lot of challenges also. Of course, ma'am highlighted some of them. Like first and foremost, without a doubt, I think everybody would agree, is the teacher training. Because unless teachers are professionally trained to be able to do these things, it is not fair to expect them to do it. And so that is one big challenge. Infrastructure is a challenge. Not all schools are equipped. You have all the top schools who are coming here. But there are many schools who don't have the basic, infrastructure also. So then we cannot expect them to be able to do anything in that. That is there. Then the way, the management thought process also is important, because you see, even if we want, any principal now is, CBSE has to emphasize that they are pedagogical leaders. They have been emphasizing, but so many circulars keep coming to the principal almost every day that poor person has to ensure unnecessarily administrative work also he has to do. So where is he having time or bandwidth to become a pedagogical leader? So that is the big challenge which is there. And then again, trying to implement new things every day, that is not possible. Because you have so many things happening around the country and will keep happening. It takes time for people to understand, to implement and bring it on the ground so that quality is delivered. And then again, something new is being implemented. It is going to be difficult on that. So there are many pluses, many minuses. I think it's end of the day, the schools who have to see what can work well, how we can take it up, implement over a period of time, and then keep improving.
Sure. Thank you.
If I can just add to this, I think even the whole assessment pattern is also something that really needs to be relooked at in the Indian curriculum, rather than just moving away from direct questions, rote learning, giving them case studies to look at, because if you're giving them a case study, they are then being able to apply their knowledge, maybe draw from other subjects as well. So interdisciplinary learning, case study based assessments are very important.
Can I just? So we were discussing the NEP framework and K-12 education in the context of that. So, ma'am, please continue. Yeah.
Yeah, so I finished my point. It was basically that we need to also look at the way assessments are being conducted.
So before we come to you, ma'am, one question to you, Mr. Yadav, again. Before that, I really again request everyone to be quiet because there's a lot of noise, sorry. I wanted to discuss the aspect of fast-changing technology. Every sphere of life is, witnessing such fast changes. Technology becomes outdated very quickly. Information is becoming outdated very quickly. How do you think can schools adjust to this fast-changing technology, fast-changing information? And also to add to that is the element of uncertainty that is coming in, as the previous panel had discussed, the wars that are coming in, the extreme weather events. Students are really, required to process all that also besides their core function of education. How are students dealing with that? How are education is dealing with that?
I think it's not as big a challenge as we make it first, my thought process, especially at the school level. At the university level is completely different because they have to prepare immediately for the workforce, the students to join the workforce, and there rapidly a lot of things are changing. But at school level, if we look at it, primarily what is our goal? To ensure by the time he graduates from grade 12, he is ready to join the college. He has the basics very strongly inbuilt in him. He has the ability to learn new skills and soft skills as well. These are 4 or 5 things which I think we have to teach. Because in the past 20 years also, the basics have not changed much. Anybody, whether it is physics, chemistry, or any other, language subjects that we are going to teach. There are changes in the way we teach the students. That is a big, big change that is there. And for that, we have to have professional development, which is we have to do. Otherwise, anyway, children will not be interested, as I mentioned earlier also. So that is something which we have to plan it out. Rapid changes will come. So many new things are coming. Just imagine this robot is standing here. Tomorrow something else will happen. So can we keep changing with whatever is changing? Of course not. It's just like CBSE sending us so many circulars. We cannot implement anything. It is practically not possible. We have to identify as an institution what are the certain things we are going to focus, and let's work on that. Let's work for some time. Let's give teachers the requisite training that is required so that they are also on the ground able to implement it. Otherwise, what would happen is just take up new things and then no fruitful thing is being achieved. One big challenge among the youth that they are facing is that they are not used to being bored. Patience is a skill which is lost. There was an ad, impatience is the new, zing thing or something like that. That's wrong. We have to have patience. We have to teach children patience. And that can only develop with experience. Experience sense being in situations where you are having nothing to do. Because otherwise what is happening, if you look at around us, as ma'am said, technology is coming very fast, no doubt. For everything you have an app. For anything you need, immediately you are able to get it. But to achieve something that is really valuable, that is something which you can really be proud of, you need to have perseverance. You need to face those challenges, and those things take time. So unless we are able to put children in those conditions where they are able to experience, they are able to sustain and then grow, it will not happen. Otherwise what would happen? They join workforce, after some time they say, oh, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm not creating an impact. For God's sake, you are just there for about a year or two, and what impact are you going to create? There are people who are working for 20 years and after that some substantial impact is coming. So this unfounded urgency which is being created in the society, that has to be stopped. And like as I said, there is war happening. Of course, earlier also war used to happen. Climate was bad earlier also. We had so many other challenges earlier. Why are we overburdening our children with so many things? They don't need to process. हर चीज़ में दिमाग लगाने का ज़रूरत नहीं है. I have a very nice quote from Warren Buffett. He said, I don't have to have opinion about everything. Let kids be kid. Let them enjoy their childhood. पढ़ो, खेलो, enjoy करो. Parents के साथ रहो. Curricular, extracurricular, as you say, is the pressure that is being created. Again, it is to be designed properly. If you are planning it in such a way that children are exposed to these things, they are exposed to extracurricular things, and this also, they are much happier, remember. They are much happier than those who are only studying and not doing anything else. Because our purpose of life is not to study. Purpose of life is to live a fulfilling life. Study is one part of it and a very important aspect of it. Education is important, that allows you and enables you to become much better human being. But if we focus only on studies, the child is actually not going to do anything in life. No parent should force the kids like that. Co-curricular, extracurricular, are curricular, they have to be part of it. And as institutions, if we are designing things, it is possible to children to enjoy. Like in our school, what we do? We ensure every child compulsorily has to take part in 2 clubs. One is performing arts, another one is sports. They have to practice that. And when they go there, they learn certain skills, they develop, especially with those kids who are very weak. Because generally if you are weak in all subjects. But they develop disciplines in those things, they are able to do well, it gives them the confidence that, okay, I can do something good. That is then reflected into other things also. They feel happier at least. Because every child comes to school to get some appreciation, that is very important. And if they don't get that, then it becomes very difficult and it dents their confidence severely. How much ever we say, no child should be labeled, but sadly it does happen. Expectations are accordingly set. But if the child is doing somewhere else, he is able to do well, whether it is cricket, football, speaking skills, debate, whatever it is. Because no child is good for nothing, or no human being is there. Some skills are there, let them do well there. Na? That will reflect in that only. And as such, anyway, if only academics was there, Sachin Tendulkar was a big failure. And so many innumerable examples we have, we don't have to say that. So schools should allow the children to explore themselves, explore their different aspects of the life, different career opportunities that could happen, explore all those things. Beauty of school education is that only. Let us work in that direction. Parents are there because they put pressure. Parents will have that, no, we need 99%, 98%, 95%, what are the things. As schools, we need to educate them. It is not easy, there is no doubt in that, but we give them certain parameters for them to understand how well the child is going. When we are giving report card, why are we only giving the performance? Why can't we also give how much percentage the child has improved from previous one? And appreciate that child. That okay, see, this child has improved, he is doing very well, parent will feel nice. Otherwise, parents को लगता है कि phone आया school से मतलब complain ही आना है. Why should that be there? Okay, I'm taking too much time, please.
I think often it's not just that the child is under pressure because the child is not able to cope. It's also that it's the parents' successful ambitions or failed ambitions that are being put onto the child and transferred there. So you find children struggling more with that. My father wants me to be this, or my mother expects me to be that, but I'm unable to. So why are we doing that? As Sir says, let them enjoy the co-curriculars and the curricula, whatever they're good at. They will shine. And they will shine in their own way because each child is unique. But when they are burdened with the parents or the community's expectations, that's when they struggle. Otherwise, all of us have grown up doing the sports, the gym, the this, the that. We've all done it. But today, the pressure to succeed and that definition of success, which comes through the parent or the family, is very hard to shake.
Sure. I think we have to, as both my fellow panelists have said, we need to redefine what we look at success. Only academic achievement cannot be labeled as success. Children who don't do well in academics, you will find that they will excel either in sports or some other, in a performing arts or a visual arts. So for them, that is success. So why are we only focusing on academics as a mark of a success. And where you talked about, all the different things that are happening in school, like the well-being curriculum and the happiness curriculum, all of these things are there to help bolster our students to ensure their well-being, because now well-being is the buzzword in all schools. With the amount of pressure children are under, their well-being is at stake. It is the responsibility of schools to ensure that while they are facing all the pressures that they are, but they are being able to do it in a way that is not affecting them adversely. Since COVID, we have definitely seen an uprise in well-being issues. And since then, really, well-being has become the buzzword in all schools. But we have to take on that responsibility and ensure through counseling, through socio-emotional learning, through mindfulness, as ma'am said, that our students' well-being is being taken care of.
Sure. The previous panel had also discussed the breaking of the silos. So at higher levels, we talk it interdisciplinary approach. But in schools, how do you help students understand themes across disciplines, say physics and social sciences, and so on and so forth?
For the IB curriculum, it is very easy because the whole IB curriculum is interdisciplinary. In the middle school, middle years program, you have an interdisciplinary unit where there are two subjects that are taken together and you have to study a particular topic under the lens of both the subjects. And this is something that we are practicing more and more in our school, where we are looking at, say, if students are doing something in, say, in humanities, like suppose they're studying the world wars or something about war, they will look at wars under English. They will look at it under another topic. So therefore, we, on a regular basis, try and see how we can integrate different subjects when we are teaching a particular concept to students.
Okay. Before we wind up, there's one aspect of social sciences. Now, in schools, because of political reasons also, there are certain subjects which are subject to frequent changes, and history is one such subject, other allied subjects too. How do educators and students deal with these frequent changes that come about?
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
See, history is boring to students. It becomes very interesting when you pass out and then start studying, because government is making it very interesting, and different social media accounts are bringing different things. In terms of, as educators, I think it is very, very important for us to look it as an academic exercise only. That is very, very important, because a lot of things which were done in history, right or wrong, most people, when we are here to judge, we don't know what has been happening in their mindset, what is the conditions under which lot of decisions were taken. But almost always we should believe that they try to do what is best that was possible. That is one way of putting across. And sharing both aspects of any event that we are discussing. That becomes very important. Let's say Mughals invaded India. So they invaded because conquerors always try to expand as they did. And we try to highlight both the aspects with what good happened, what bad happened. And there is no doubt, any event we take, there will be certain goods and certain bads also. So as teachers, if you are able to do that, I think that inherent bias or personal thought process we are able to eliminate, and then share with students. They will be able to, I think, appreciate it much better. And otherwise, I do not see much of a challenge. There are changes, and changes come every year. I think they are coming. Even if new curriculum comes, it's for the entire year that curriculum is enforced. So you have time to plan and implement it. But sharing both aspects is what I feel very, very important and crucial.
Yes, the ability to debate on both sides of the story. I'm a pol science teacher, so I've had it every year. In all these years that I used to teach, it used to happen almost every year. And it's important to teach children to analyze. As I've said, we react, we don't respond. When we start teaching our children that you have to respond, that means you don't just blindly follow what you see on social media. You don't just react to it. You don't need the likes. You don't need the criticism. You need to be able to understand and analyze. So even if curriculum changes, why has it changed may not be necessary for them to know. But what is the change? And history or politics is open to interpretation. Almost everyone is an armchair politician. Everybody has an opinion. The informed opinion is what you need. And the teacher in class has that task, to create that informed opinion. It's not really about has the syllabus changed. It's about what have you learnt? What do you gain? What is your takeaway? To have an informed opinion is what creating the next generation is about, so that they can contribute. So I think curriculum will continue to change, has and will. It's not going to stop because mankind and human life is so dynamic. Things will become obsolete. You will replace them with what is necessary. That change is ongoing. You can't stop that. But as teachers, our job is really to teach them how to respond to it, so that they acquire those 21st century skills where they can respond to life. Because they will be faced with those situations. Today there's a war, tomorrow there may not be. Day after there will be in their generations. They have to be able to react to it. So teaching them that in classrooms is important.
Sure. Before we have concluding remarks from all of you, maybe if few questions from the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.